Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So my name's Katie and today we are doing another exciting video. I always call all my videos exciting, but I just get so excited to film. So yeah, and we're doing another book haul today. And this is another rather large book haul. Yeah, so this is kind of a second Christmas book haul. So I've got some gifts, which if you didn't see my last book haul, I was very in awe. I'm very grateful that so many of you sent me some lovely gifts, and I got a couple more after I filmed that video, so I'm including them in this one, and then some books I bought myself for Christmas and some books I was gifted by family for Christmas. And yeah, so we just got a mix today, so I'm just gonna get started because I love book hauls, they're so exciting. So the first one is a gift from the lovely Nicole, from Nicole and her books, and I love Nicole so much, so yeah, thank you so much, Nicole, and you should all go check her channel out because she's amazing. And she got me Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim, and this is, they still haven't quite worked out how like reflections in the ring light works, but yeah, this cover is stunning and I'm so happy to have this because I feel like this is going to be like a YA fantasy that I'm gonna really enjoy. I don't know, I've heard it's like Project Runway meets Mulan, and I mean I don't really know what Project Runway is. I think it's a US TV show but I think it's like tailoring and making dresses, and I think like the main character, she has to dress up as a boy to become a tailor, or like I think it's magical tailoring as well, like I've heard there's magical scissors I think, so that's where the Mulan thing, but I've heard it kind of deviates quite quickly from like a Mulan type storyline, or that's not what you should expect if you read it. But yeah, I'm really excited and it just sounds so cool. So yeah, and I think it's going to be like a really quick fast-paced read, which I love YA fantasy for that, and yeah, so I'm excited. And then next, the lovely Sophia from Fantasy Book Addict sent me volumes 9 and 10 of Full Metal Alchemist, which these are stunning, and this one has Envy on, who's like my favourite character. Well, I don't know if they're actually my like favourite, but I love them. Villainous simps. Yeah, so I'm really excited to have these. They're so like, and I love the silver on this one, like, oh. So yeah, these are stunning, and thank you so much, Sophia, I love you. And yeah, I'm just so thankful for that people have sent me gifts and thought of me, and just I'm gonna start crying again 10 AM on a Saturday morning. But yeah, so thank you so much. And yeah, so the Full Metal Alchemist series, I've been collecting these Full Metal editions. I think I've only read the first 3 volumes, but now I've got up to volume 10, so I feel like I can start reading them a bit more without running out. So we're following 2 brothers, Edward and Alphonse, and they are kind of like searching for this philosopher's stone in order to try and, well, Alphonse is just currently in like this robot suit because his body's gone missing, or like it's just his soul, nice body, in this experiment that went wrong, and Edward has lost his arm, so they're trying to get their proper bodies back, and along the way they encounter various people and various things and evil entities. But yeah, it's really good, and so yeah, I'm excited to have more. Okay, so then next is a gift from Elena from me and Kestrel, and I'm so excited to have this one. So this is Chilling Effect by Valerie Valdez, and this is the first book, which I've actually read the sequel, but I haven't read the first one. So I wanted to go back and read the first one, and yeah, I love it. You can see from the covers, it's like these crazy telepathic cats in space. And I think I've heard that this one like starts with all these cats get released. And I really enjoyed the first one, and it's a lot of fun. It's like really fun sci-fi and very kind of, yeah, like heartwarming. And I think the main character Eva, she's like captain of this ship, and so yeah, I don't know what happens in the first one. I wonder if they kind of infiltrate this like prison to try and break out a prisoner, because I feel like in the second one that's kind of referenced. So yeah, but I'm really excited to have the first one and to be able to read it. And yeah, I just love the cover, it's so cool. Like, I love cats and I love space, so yeah, yeah. So the tagline, like, kidnappers, alien emperors, psychic cats, and she's out of coffee. So yeah, it's just really like humorous and really fun, so I'm hyped to have this one. Okay, so then next we have a couple of arcs which I was sent by publishers, which like, I get so excited whenever I get sent a book by a publisher. It's just like, so exciting. I already said excited. Oh, I need to stop saying the word excited. Okay. Um, but yeah, so the first one was Galaxy in the Ground Within by Becky Chambers, which this is one of my like most anticipated books ever, and I'm so happy to have an arc. It's so pretty. Yeah, but I have already read this one because I had an e-arc, but I'm so happy to have a physical arc as well and just have this in my Becky Chambers collection. Yeah, it's so pretty. I love the quote on the cover. It says, "She loved her ship, she loved her crew, loved a life spent above the stars instead of below." So I guess this is referencing Pei, who she's like a ship captain and then she kind of gets stuck on this planet. They're like, the synopsis, so it's a very brief synopsis. It says, three strangers are thrown together unexpectedly with seemingly nothing to do but wait. Together they will discover that even in the vastness of space, they are not alone. So yeah, Becky Chambers' books just like restore your faith in humanity, and they're just so heartwarming and have so many great messages about kind of accepting differences and learning about other people and how that can help you like understand them, and just yeah, just that like core belief in the goodness of others. And yeah, this one's really good. So yeah, like the synopsis said, there's three strangers who all get stuck in this like 5-hop one stop, which is like a resort where people stop over on this planet, which is kind of, it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, but it's on the like pathway for, so there's these ring gate things, and then like people come in and then they can stop over on this planet while they're waiting for their next gate to open. And so yeah, so we're following the 5-hop one stop, and it's owned by a woman called Ulu, and she and her child Tuppo, they like run this place. And then yeah, one day there's these three people who are like currently there, and then satellites start to break down in orbit, so they're all unexpectedly kind of stuck there, and then they have to like get along despite their differences, and eventually having to kind of work together. And it's just so good, and oh, just I love it. So yeah, just the themes and Becky Chambers' writing is just yeah. So if you haven't pre-ordered this, get pre-ordering. Or I guess you probably don't, I guess you could start with this one, but maybe read the other books in the Wayfarer series first. And then I also got sent Malice, which is a Sapphic Sleeping Beauty retelling. That's all I really know about it. This arc is like huge, but it's not that long. I feel like the writing's really big on the pages. I think this is like where the princess kind of falls in love with the villain, or like the evil queen. But yeah, I don't know much about it, but it sounds really good and I'm so excited to read it. And yes, it's like once upon a time there was a villain. Okay, so just from like reading the synopsis, it sounds like it's told from like the POV of the villain, which sounds so cool. And yeah, I'm really excited. So I'm sure I'll have more details once I've actually read it, but yeah, it's just, oh, I'm always so thankful whenever I get sent arcs. It's just like, yeah. Then next, so now we're on to kind of mostly books that I bought myself, but maybe one or two that I didn't. First two are some classic sci-fis, and that is Foundation and I, Robot by Isaac Asimov. So Foundation was bought for me by the lovely Skylar from Skylar's Bookshelf, who I'll leave all the people that I mentioned linked in the description. And yeah, because this one was like super cheap and I didn't have Prime, so I was like, will someone buy it for me and then I'll pay them back? But then she was like, oh, just have it. And oh, so thank you, Skylar. But yeah, so I don't really know what they're about. I'm assuming iRobot is about some kind of robot. I know they're just classic sci-fis, and I've heard they're quite like dry or dense or some, yeah, probably dry rather than dense because they're not very big. But yeah, but I'm excited to see and like see how the kind of genre has progressed and like its influences, because I feel like Asimov is the kind of original like AI type sentience. And I don't know, I feel like I've heard iRobot's kind of a bit humorous, so maybe I'm wrong there, but I'm quite excited to see what I think of them and when I get to them eventually. I have so much like classic sci-fis that I need to read, because I have Solaris, which is another one, and June, so yeah. I'll be working my way through them slowly. But also I love these covers, like all the UK books, Isaac Asimov books, they like have this colour scheme and the spines together, they just look so cool. So yeah, I'm really happy to have these. The final gift was from, so we have this thing called the Book Fairy, which my grandpa does every year, and he just gets everyone a book like from the Book Fairy, which we've done it every year since I was little. And this year my Book Fairy book was The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. and I've heard such good things about this, and I'm really excited to read it. I believe we follow Nora, who kind of, she discovers, or I don't know if she sort of dies or tries to kill herself, and then she wakes up in this like library where she can see all the like possibilities of her life, which sounds so cool. Yeah, I've heard it's quite like heavy. I think it'll be a really kind of impactful read, and I haven't read any of Matt Haig's other books, but I did go and see the like play version of his Reasons to Stay Alive. That's it. Yeah, and that was really good. So yeah, so I'm really excited to read this one. Oh, it's got like a library card in the front. That's so cool. But yeah, so that's that one. Okay, so then next we have books 2 and 3 in the Licanius, I think it's Licanius trilogy. So that is An Echo of Things to Come and The Light of All That Falls. And these are quite like chunky, like together they're bigger than my face basically. But yeah, so I read The Shadow of What Was Lost in January, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I don't know, I feel like I've heard they were for fans of Brandon Sanderson, and like I'm a fan of Brandon Sanderson. So I obviously really enjoyed it, and it's really like classic, like nostalgic fantasy, but it also, yeah, the characters are quite lovable and it's just really fun. So I wanted to get the rest of the series, and I found like a discount voucher for Waterstone, so I got ordering. But yeah, so and these spines look so good together. Yeah, so I'm really happy to have them all, and I'm sure I will make my way through them at some point this year, because they are really chunky, but they are quite fast to read. Like, I didn't really struggle to get through Shadow of What Was Lost at all. I felt like it kept me engaged, and like I was never bored. Sometimes when you have like 1,000-page fantasies, it's like, but yeah, it's similar to Sanderson. I feel like the writing style is just so easy that you just keep reading and you kept engaged, and so it's not like a drag to get through, which I really enjoy. Like, some books are good to kind of read slowly, but then that's, if it's slow and you're enjoying it, that's good. But then other times it's like the book's slow, but it's like trawling through it rather than enjoyable slow. I don't know if that made any sense, or but yeah, so I'm really happy to have these. Yeah, it's really hard to summarize what the series is about. The first one is like these kids in this magic school, and then something bad happens to the school, so they have to run away, and they're trying to find these secrets to like, because the magic is kind of gone missing, and there were these mysterious figures called Aegers, who sort of used to exist, and then magic's quite restricted to people that do have magic, so it could be these things called the tenants, which kind of stops them really using magic. So yeah, there was a lot going on. And we're following 4 main characters who are, I love them all, but yeah, especially Caden, and I feel like he's going to go on quite a journey through the rest of the books. So yeah, I'm quite bad at doing synopses for books. I don't know why, just especially in book hauls and TBRs. I just find it so hard. But yeah, these 2, I'm excited for them, and especially big epic fantasies. Like, how are you meant to summarize them? I feel like the only one I'm relatively okay at is Stormlight, because I've done that so much. But yeah, okay, then next we have another chunky fantasy, and that is World of Storms by Kendo. So I bought this one for myself because Tammie has become like obsessed with this series. This is Tammie from Tammie Tries to Read, who is also amazing. And yeah, and she like loved Grace of Kings, and now she's reading World of Storms and she's loving it even more. So, and the cover, I don't know if you can see like this skull thing, it's just so cool. I'm obsessed with these covers. And so I already have the Grace of Kings, so I wanted to get World of Storms because I have a feeling I'm going to really enjoy them. And apparently this one has like female villains, which sign me up. I don't fully know what they're about. I think it's quite military based fantasy. Yeah, following Chinese history. I think it's the Dandelion Dynasty, or that's what the name of the series is called, and I'm assuming that's an actual dynasty. I think it's dynasty. Yeah, dynasty. Anyway, and this is another really chunky one. Like, this is like my hand, and then that's like the book. They're like the same size. But yeah, I don't know how many pages is it. It's like 850 pages, so it's quite big, but hopefully I will get to it soon and enjoy it. And yes, I have so much to read. And next we have The Evercool Kingdom by Rinch Pecco, and this is the sequel to The Never Tilting World, and I really enjoy this series. It's such a good YA fantasy series, and like the romances, there's 2 different romances, one is like FF and one is MF. I don't know. Yeah, and I just love them both, and one of the characters, Heidi, I feel like she's so similar to me, so I feel like a soul connection with her. And the world's so cool, it's like split into this cold half and this hot half. And there's these 2 princesses who are kind of sisters, and they've been separated since birth. And one is kind of the princess of the cold half, and one is the princess of the hot half. And in the first book, they're kind of journeying each separately to this middle called the Rift, and where something's like going on. And then at the end of the first book, they're kind of at the Rift. So I feel like this book is gonna be dealing with what's going on now. So that's very exciting, and the cover's really cool. It's almost like clockwork type, or like astrolabes. I'm not really sure what they're called, but yeah, I'm really excited to have this, and I'm planning on getting to it soon ish. I feel like I've been reading arcs a lot recently because I keep wanting to try and get my NetGalley to 100%, but then I keep getting new arcs, and then it just turns into this vicious cycle. But yeah, so I really want to try and get to this soon. It's very pretty, and I'm very excited. I'm very repetitive, but you know. And next we have another book that I bought myself, and this is The Stone Knife by Anna Stevens. And I think I included this on my 21 books to read in 2021, but I think I called it Doors of Stone, which is the 3rd book in the Name of the Wind series. Words. But it's actually, I meant The Stone Knife, and I did put a picture in, so hopefully people knew what I was referring to. And I haven't heard too much about this one, but I've seen a couple of people that I like follow and know review it, and they really liked it. And I know I saw on the author's like bio, and one of the, you know when they do those like emojis and they're like 1-line things, and it said lots of cinnamon rolls, which is like one of my favourite things. I love cinnamon rolls. And also like shamanism, I think, and I think it's quite queer, like friendly, and so I'm really excited to read it and see what it's about. I think it's adult fantasy, so I tend to love them. And it just gives me the kind of like chaotic type vibes of like the Ruin of Kings. I don't know, I feel like there's a kind of subgenre of fantasy which I don't have any kind of category for other than like slightly chaotic and slightly gay. And I always love those kind of fantasies, so yeah, I'm really excited for this one, and I think it's going to be really cool. So yeah, and I feel like there's a cute dog as well, or according to the author. Okay, then next we have a book I still haven't read, and that is The Burning God, which yeah, I got in December, which I love the back. I love those little airships, they're so cool. But yeah, so Waterstones was a bit late with sending this because I had it pre-ordered, but then it didn't come to like probably mid-December. So then I feel like I didn't read it straight away, and now I keep putting it off. And I read like the first 30 pages, but then it was really intense, and I feel like I wasn't in the mood for like a super intense book. So still haven't read it, but I'm really excited to get to it eventually because The Poppy War is one of my favourite series, and it's just, yeah, the like themes it explores and kind of dealing with war and looking at the really sort of human consequences of war and like how that affects the people in it, and how really it's not like often there's no winners, it's just kind of, yeah. And Rin is quite like she's pretty much a villain, I would say, despite being the protagonist, but she's really kind of engaging to follow. You do get very like invested in her story, so yeah, I'm excited to read this one, and the cover's pretty. I just need the hardcover of The Poppy War, and then I'll have a full set, but that's kind of hard to acquire, so yeah. Then another fancy Waterstones edition, The Sky Beyond the Storm by Sophia, and I actually started reading this one, and yeah, so I'm currently reading it at the moment and really enjoying it, and I had to get myself this edition because it's so pretty, and I just love the sprayed edges. My goal is to have like enough sprayed edges to like make a little rainbow, but I don't really have that many at the moment. I feel like I only really have like pink and purple ones because they're the only books I like to buy with sprayed edges. Yeah, very on brand. But yeah, I'm very like pink today. This is the 4th book in the Ember and the Ashes quartet, which the 4th book is not really anything like the first one, but in the first one, following Leia, who is a slave, and well, is she a slave? She sort of poses as a slave because she's like trying to infiltrate this academy for the rebels, and this academy is where they train like masks for the Empire, and they're these like super badass soldiers. And we're also following one of the masks, Elias, who's kind of, he's not very happy, like he doesn't agree with like the mask philosophy or whatever, so he's trying to run away at the start, but then he sort of gets trained, and he's undergoing these trials, and yeah, it's just a lot going on. But yeah, the series is so expansive, especially for like a YA fantasy, and I really love the kind of mythology and like magic as well that gets kind of woven in, especially later on. And yeah, this is my badass female characters. Like, I love Laia and Helene, they're just both great. So yeah, I'm really excited to see. And I've heard, well, I actually spoiled myself for the ending of this one, and one of the characters dies, and yeah, so I had the whole book to emotionally prepare myself for that, but yeah, I'm excited to read it, so that's the one. And pretty, it's like matching me. Then this next book has a whole story, so, and that is Norfolk Lost by Esther Hansen. So I got this one because I thought it was like wholesome fantasy, fantasy, wholesome sci-fi, similar to like Becky Chambers books, and then I was on like a video chat with Tammie and Sophia, and Tammie was like, isn't that book like got loads of trigger warnings and really heartbreaking? So I was like, what? And then she was like reading me all the bad things that happened, and then I think she read a quote which is like, it's like if a Becky Chambers book got put in a cage and was poked repeatedly or something. So and maybe I had to adjust my expectations for that one. So yeah, I don't think this is quite going to be quite as wholesome as maybe I thought it would be, but I'm still really excited because it does sound really good. So it sounds like Caden is thrown into this crew of misfit aliens. I'm just reading off the synopsis. And yeah, they're kind of discovering the universe and seeking revenge on the slavers who murdered his people. So yeah, it sounds a bit more like a revenge story. So I'm excited, but yeah, maybe prepare myself for a little bit more heartbreak than I was anticipating. But yeah, my face was like when I realised. So yeah, that's that one. Then I got The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman, and this cover is so pretty, and I've been really in the mood recently for like kind of creepy, like atmospheric type books, and I feel like this one is definitely going to deliver. I really wanted this edition because it's so pretty, and there's like little cat on the back, and it has illustrations kind of throughout, I don't know if you can see, which I think is going to add so much to the book. Although just looking at it, this is going to be a really hard one not to break the spine. But yeah, so I'll just read this synopsis because I have no clue what it's about, honestly. So this is what he remembers as he sits by the ocean at the end of the lane. A dead man on the back seat of a car and warm milk at the farmhouse. An ancient little girl and an old woman who saw the moon being made. A beautiful housekeeper with a monstrous smile, and dark forces waking that were best left undisturbed. There are memories hard to believe, waiting at the edge of things. The recollections of a man who thought he was lost but is now perhaps remembering a time when he was saved. Oh, apparently it's now an acclaimed West End theatre production. That's cool. But yeah, so I'm excited for this one. I've read another one of Neil Gaiman's books, Neverwhere. I think Neverwhere. It's over there. Yeah, Neverwhere. And I really enjoyed that one, so I'm excited for this one. And yeah, I've also read Good Omens, which I also liked, so yeah, I'm hyped. And it's so pretty. I love pretty books. I like a sucker. Okay, then next a couple of graphic novels. So I got volume 5 of Monstrous, and I really, you see all the eyes. And I really like the Monstrous graphic novel series. The art is like so stunning. There's this really cute little fox character called Kipper. There she is. She's so cute. And yeah, and oh look. And like watching her grow and just, oh, I'm so proud of her. And we're also following Maker, who is like a half wolf. So she's half arcanist, and in the world the arcanists are like being kind of persecuted. And it's just kind of this kind of battle between kind of multiple, well not battle, like more of a war. It's not like a there and then battle. And there's all these kind of sides, and it's very convoluted. Like there's quite, the first volume especially, I think it takes a while to get into, but like once you're into it, it's so good. And the kind of politics and the art, and it's all just so good. So I'm really excited to have volume 5 and to read it. I need to get around to reading it. I feel like graphic novels, sometimes you have to like make the time for them, but once you do, it's always worth it. And then lastly we have Princess Ever After, which I bought myself as a Christmas present, and it's quite small and short, but it's so cute. I loved it so much. And Katie O'Neill's art style, because she also did Tea Dragon Tapestry, is like so adorable. Yeah, I love it. And it's basically, it's kind of like Rapunzel, where there's this girl in the tower, and then one day she gets rescued by this other, like, I think she's a princess, Amina, but she doesn't really want to be a princess. She like wants to be a guard. So they rescue her, and they go on this kind of journey, and then she has like an evil sister, and it's just really like classic, kind of like a Disney film. And she has this little dragon as well, who's so cute. But yeah, so I really enjoyed it, and it's really short, but I feel like it just has some really key messages about like, and there's some body positivity and just like being true to yourself. And yeah, I loved it. So I'm really excited to have like a physical copy. Well, I mean, I read it physically, but anyway, yeah. And I'm excited to have this like read to my children one day, because it's like be the perfect kind of bedtime story. Yeah, so that's that one. So that is everything. I hope you enjoyed this haul. There might not be another one for a while, because I need to stop buying books. Yes, so, and I need to try and like, my physical TBR is getting a bit out of hand, so I need to try and cut down. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, yeah, comment down below if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them. And if you enjoyed it, please give it a like and consider subscribing if you haven't already, because I'm getting like relatively close to 2,000 subscribers, which is so exciting. So yeah, I would love it if you could subscribe. And yeah, I hope you're all having a great day, and I will see you next time.